This is a brief video on searching Science-Direct. You'll notice I'm in the LibGuide for your page, and I'm on the Where to Search tab or page. And now I'm going to go down to the database I want, which is Science-Direct. I'm going to click on Science-Direct, and once the search boxes appear, you're going to type in your search. I already had one developed using the techniques that are discussed in your LibGuide, so I've pasted this in here, and now I'm simply going to click Search. This might take a few minutes depending on your network and connection, but you'll notice we have 2,884 results, but there are some ways that we can filter this down and get this to a more reasonable results that we might actually look at. So notice you can filter by the publication date or the years. So if you know, or if you've been told that you don't want anything, say, older than the past 5 or so years, you can click on each of the years and filter down, and notice our results has already changed down to a little over 1,600. You can also filter by article type. One of the things I like about Science-Direct is that you can specifically filter by either review articles or research articles. Remember that research articles are what is considered primary resources in the sciences. Review articles are secondary sources within the sciences, but don't necessarily weed out review articles immediately. Because remember, review articles are reviewing primary sources. So the sources that they are reviewing are those primary research articles. And it's a great way to get a nice summary of some of the main research areas in the field. However, just be aware that if you're being requested to have primary research as one of your sources, it's going to have to be a research article and not a review article. For the sake of this search, we're going to click on both of these, review and research articles. You can also filter by publication title if you're interested in that. And notice you can filter by subject areas. Again, these are subjects within the topic that you have searched, and the numbers in the parentheses indicate the number of articles that have been found on those specific topics. And you can click on any combination of these that you think might be useful to your research and the topic that you're interested in. For the sake of this search, we're simply going to click on one of these so you can see that it did refine again. And now we're down to 178 results. Here is our list of those results. Notice that in this database, the PDF is listed right underneath, so you know that it has the full text available. You can get a good look at the abstract of this or the summary simply by clicking on this. And this way you get an idea of what the article is about before you actually commit to it. Another thing I like about Science-Direct is that it does allow you to separate the figures, the graphs, the tables, the charts out from the actual article. And this is fantastic if you're given a presentation or writing up a summary or something and you'd like to use one of the figures or the tables in your presentation or your work. This allows you to do so without having to recreate something that has already been created. Just remember that you will have to cite these separately if you choose to use them. Just as in any other database, you may click on the title on this search results page to get a closer look at the article. I also like that Science-Direct breaks down the article over here into its individual parts. This allows easier reading sometimes. You can go straight to the introduction and then jump down to your results to figure out what the article found or what they discovered. And then if you're really interested in it, you can go back through and read the materials and methods You can also get a look at the conclusion and any recommendations they have before digging into the materials and methods, which is usually one of the heavier and more difficult sections of a paper to read. If they provide any appendices or supplementary data, those are also listed. And you can also go straight to the references, and any of the references that are in ScienceDirect will be hyperlinked. This makes it easy for you to search through the bibliography of a paper that you like to see if there's any additional papers for you. Notice that this one has also been cited by 11 other papers. So these are all papers that are newer than the paper that you are looking at currently. This current paper was published in 2023. So these 11 papers are going to be newer than 2023. So it's a great way to look at newer research on at least a similar topic. Here's those figures again and the tables that you can use. And another thing I also like about ScienceDirect over here is that it also gives you recommended articles. So it's these that you pulled this article because you like it for whatever reason, and it's given you a list of articles that are similar to this topic that you might want to look at. Again, this is just one of the ways that this database makes it easier for you to expand your research and find additional resources on your topic. Once you're finished looking at everything it has to offer, if you want to save this paper, you can either copy and paste the DOI somewhere so that you can get back to it, or you can pull down that PDF and download it so that you have it. And that is the basics of searching ScienceDirect.